I've been walking down the street like an alien. They say time will heal, but I don't have patience. You packed your things, now we begin the erasing. All the memories slowly start to fade, and the days move so slow.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am joined by the lovely Georgia. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. She's going to be my beautiful model. We are going to be shooting in my apartment and we are going to be doing some lingerie. I'm going to be showing you how to pose and tips on lingerie in general. I'm also going to be using this guy here. It's going to be a filter with Vaseline on it, so stay tuned, it's going to be very exciting. Before we get into this video, please make sure to check out Georgia. I'm going to link her down below. And also please make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell button to not miss any of my future uploads. And let's get right into the video. Psst, you all know what's coming. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in platform that will help you make your dream website, portfolio, or an online shop become a reality. Squarespace has hundreds of beautiful templates, so you will definitely find something that suits you and your personal style. You can build a professional portfolio website in a matter of hours, and you will be able to customize it every step of the way, so it's so you that nobody can deny it's not. As we all know, social media presence is power, and with Squarespace, you'll be able to auto-post all your content to Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr with proper tags and descriptions. Finally, Squarespace helps you with the marketing. They help you with SEO, as well as some plugins for Instagram stories and so on, as well as share buttons, so your followers can give you some juicy shoutouts on their social media. If that sounds like something you'd like to try, make sure to go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And once you're ready to go, use my code squarespace.com/Anita to receive 10% off your first purchase. Okay, I need to change my settings. That's really lovely. Yeah. Beautiful. Really nice to have like really nice poses where it's like sticking at your hip, maybe like once it's kind of like nice bent angles. Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's really nice. Yes, that's really lovely. Yes, that's gorgeous. Beautiful. So I just angled the backdrop a tiny bit and I made it a bit higher so it kind of covers a bit more space. So today we have a very overcast sky. It's pretty gray outside. It's not very nice. It's not raining and it's not super dull, so it's fine. I chose a dark background, which probably isn't the smartest option, but I think it's what works best at the moment because like I want to make sure that I get the really nice contrast between the skin and the model. So and I've used the green one that I have so many times already that I just feel like it's just a bit overused at this point. I'm going to be using a reflector. I have this one here. Usually, as you guys know, I don't really use a reflector, but this one comes in handy when the weather is dull like this. So I'm literally just sticking it outside the window because there isn't much space. And as you see, like even on me, it just reflects the light so much stronger. So in this kind of situation, I definitely recommend it. You can also have a fill light if you want to. I don't really have space for this, plus I don't really like flash because it's very severe. I feel like reflector is completely enough. When I was preparing for the photo shoot, my plan was to shoot around the living room, just try and use the furniture and what's around here. But unfortunately on the day, the weather was super overcast, it was super gloomy and it was quite dark. And even though my apartment had really big windows, it was still relatively really dark when it was a dull day. So I decided to adjust my plans a tiny bit and just go for the simple black backdrop, which is not my ideal, not my favorite. However, I thought that because my model's skin was quite light and her lingerie was quite light as well, we could make it look quite interesting and nice and contrasty. All the photos in today's video were edited using my new tropical pack. As you guys see, even though it says tropical, you can still use it in your indoor studio shots. I particularly liked number 5 and number 6 for this one, I think, because it's the most usable for this kind of color scheme. I'm going to go with number 6. I'm going to adjust the exposure, add a tiny bit of brightness, and then I'm going to adjust the blacks because I feel like they are a bit too washed out. So I'm going to bring them back down a tiny bit, as you see here. And then I'm going to go into the little color wheel section, and I'm going to adjust my shadows a tiny bit because I feel like they're a bit too green. So as you see here, we have different tones. I would like to go for something a bit more blue potentially, or even red. I feel like maybe yellow. Okay, and we'll just leave it here, kind of almost in the middle, and that's it. Here's the little before and after. If you like what you see, make sure to check the presets out. They're on my website, anitasadowska.eu, and I'm offering 20% off for another few days, so make sure not to miss it out. It's code YouTube20. So check it out, and let's get back into the video. So now we're kind of getting a slightly bit of like a studio setup. It's almost like a natural light setup where we have the reflector from the bottom. So it's like a clamshell setup, but with natural light. So we have the big window coming in, and then we have the reflection underneath, which looks really, really nice. And chin down a bit. Beautiful. You guys know that I'm not a huge fan of reflectors, but in this particular case, because the light was so dull, I thought it would elevate the look a tiny bit. So what I did is I grabbed the reflector and I put it flat, and I kind of almost created a shell kind of light setup without any light, because the reflector was underneath the model, and then there was a big window right in front of her casting a lot of light. And I think that setup really, really worked well, especially with the black backdrop. I think it gave it something extra. I think it really brought out the highlights, especially in my model's face and her eyes. And I really, really liked how it separated her more from the backdrop. We'll get a few shots sitting down now. So I'll lower the backdrop first, so you can see where you're. And just watch this arm so it's not too like hangy. Yes, that's better. Or even if you're like resting it like behind, yeah, exactly. Yes, much better. I think the tricky thing with lingerie is you have to find that fine balance between being sexy and being too much. I think it's kind of easy to overstep that line where something just becomes tacky. So you always have to have that sensibility to the fact that the girl is pretty undressed. And it's the same with swimwear. You want to show the sexiness in a way that it's not vulgar and it's not aggressive. So it's sexy, but it's tactful at the same time, which is art in itself, I think. But just whenever you shoot, just try and avoid, like, even if we have open poses like this, it's still like very bendy. It's not too stretched out. It's not like super open and exposed. Like, we still have those really nice soft angles rather than just being full on, leg spread, because that's not really ideal. So usually when I organize lingerie tests, I get my models to bring their own lingerie. I sometimes have brands send me lingerie as well, but I feel like when it comes to lingerie, it's such a specific thing for each body that I find that sometimes if I do a test and a model brings her own, she will feel the most comfortable in it. Of course, you can always provide some pieces, and I do it from time to time. I do it all the time with swimwear, but I find with swimwear, it's way more forgiving. There's way more room for error, while with lingerie, especially with bras and so on, there's way less room to have the wrong size or the wrong cup size and so on. So I would recommend you always ask your model to bring her own lingerie. It can be super simple and easy. It can be just like a black bra or a white set, whatever they really have, but having their own thing always helps. We're gonna give the so I'm using this lens cap, sorry, it's here, and as you see, I've smeared some Vaseline on top of it. It's supposed to give you like really nice dreamy images, so we'll see how it goes. Don't put it on your lens, please. Don't ever put Vaseline on your lens, don't do that. But yeah, this is a good alternative because you can get it on like Amazon for like £6-7 or euros or dollars or wherever you are, and then just put some Vaseline on, and you can smear it in different ways, and it's going to create those really kind of slightly blurry but dreamy images, so it's very nice. So it obviously depends how you smear it. It like gives you different effects. But it is kind of cool to play around with. So you see now, because I have the lens cap, I can just do this to my lens and I don't have to worry about it because it's just a cheap cover. But if you did it to your actual lens, yeah. Yes, I actually like that. So what I did is I smeared it around so it's not as extreme, and then I cleared the middle of it so her face is a bit more sharp than the rest of the image, but it looks really good. Because I had such a plain black backdrop, I thought that I wanted to spice it up somehow, and what better way to spice it up than to put some Vaseline on your lens. And I mean, I didn't actually put the Vaseline on my lens. Please don't do it. That's just outrageous. I got myself this little filter off Amazon that I just attached to my lens, and I smeared the Vaseline onto it. It was fun to play around. I got to try different things. I adjusted the Vaseline where it was placed, how thick of a layer of Vaseline was on it. It all affected how the photos looked. Some of the photos that you see had a thicker layer of Vaseline, and you can see that there's definitely more blur, while some of them it's just kind of like a haze. And I think it's a really cool, fun way to spice up your photos. I probably wouldn't be doing it all the time, but for this particular example, it was actually really cool.
Can we stop the clock and rewind? Go back to that moment in time. When you say you want me for life, was it all a lie?
I love this. This is so cool. This is like this.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's so nice. And maybe like even a bit more hair kind of in front of your face, kind of like really, so not too much on this side because then it kind of creates a little thing, but just like, yeah, in front of your eye kind of a thing. Yeah. Well,
I can't see.
Yeah, that's fine. Gorgeous. And like the super dreamy closed eyes kind of, yeah. Yeah, usually it's the poses that look the most uncomfortable that work the best, so it's just how it is. Beautiful. You guys know that I love my body oil. Now, when it comes to boudoir or lingerie, I will definitely not apply as much as I would if I was shooting swimwear. I feel like with swimwear, you do need that wet look, while when shooting lingerie, I feel like it would be a bit unnatural. So I usually make sure to apply less body oil and maybe rub it in a bit better, just to kind of create a tiny bit of sheen, but avoid having that really glossy look. However, I still really like it. So for this particular scenario, we just sprayed my model with some body oil. She rubbed it in a bit better, and we got these really beautiful highlights. And I feel like when it comes to shooting with models and with skin, having that prep step of, you know, body oil is so important, because when you don't have these natural highlights, it's really, really hard to put them in afterwards in post-production. I've tried for years, I failed, so this is definitely a super important step for me. When I'm working in conditions like this, I still make sure that I underexpose my photos. I would way rather have a darker underexposed photo than having something with a higher ISO where there is way more noise in the image and it's way harder to fix in post-production. So I would always underexpose, sometimes even 2 or 3 stops, because I know I can bring it back up in Lightroom and it's not really a problem. And this way I preserve all the highlights, and it's way easier to work with images this way rather than having your skin overexposed. Especially, I think it's a real big pain. So I definitely recommend that you underexpose your images as well. Okay guys, this is for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know how you like my Vaseline lens photos. I think they're pretty cool. I actually dig them a lot. Thank you so much for being my lovely model. You're welcome, it's my pleasure. Make sure to check out Georgia. She's going to be linked in the description below. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.
I'm still in love.